Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our very first Power of Print P.o.P seminar series, sharing the knowledge from week 1 to week 8 across various initiatives, activities, business tools and topical matters that members can use, download and access information from a lineup of some impressive speakers. What more important than today starting with elevating and celebrating print, crafting your National Print Awards entry. It's what we're all talking about, the return of the National Print Awards for 2025 and beyond, after an extensive review of the entire program. For those that don't know me, I'm Kelly Northwood, the Chief Executive Officer of the Visual Media Association, your print, paper, packaging, mail, publishing and distribution industry association representing all of Australia industry. Before I introduce our speaker to talk about the awards and how to craft your winning entry, I just wanted to do a call out most importantly to the very sponsors that allow us to be here today. Ricoh Australia, a long-term industry partner of the Visual Media Association, funding programs such as P.o.P seminar series, as well as the annual industry metrics and other initiatives across the industry that simply without Ricoh's support, we would not be able to deliver for our members and industry. I thank them sincerely, the entire team from Yasu, Tina, Mark, Henrique, Lisa and Christina. You never, ever say no to a problem. You're always willing to help and assist. And I think sometimes it's overlooked by the members and how passionate and committed you and the entire Ricoh Australia team are of the industry and Visual Media Association in general. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. I think from my numbers, we started talking about this 4 years ago. This is your 3rd year supporting the P.o.P series, so thank you. Also to our industry superannuation partner, Media Super, our print industry superannuation fund. Thank you for continuing your ongoing support of the industry and initiatives such as this. I urge all of our members to actually ensure that they remain engaged. Media Super will attend your businesses and talk through financial literacy. They have some great programs to assist women across our industry. Women still carry a much lower superannuation level, and they've got some great initiatives there, but also starting superannuation management from a young age. There's some great benefits in that. So don't hesitate in reaching out to your Media Super representative. Before I move on to today's speaker, also we are talking about the National Print Awards, and it would be remiss of me not to give a shout out to a handful of our key sponsors. HP Curry Group, the platinum sponsor for 24-25, have stood up when we needed to work through exactly what we were doing with this awards program. And to Rob, Matt and Craig, the team across HP Curry Group, thank you for your support, your enthusiasm, your creativity across the awards. You speak to the industry just as much as we do, and feeding in what the industry is needed and how we can really recognise excellence was a great support initiative and allowed us to kick off with a platinum sponsor. To our gold sponsors, again, Ricoh Australia, continued support across the industry. Our Fujifilm, Ball and Doggett, and our silver sponsors, Spices, and category sponsors, CMYK Hub. There should be a few more announcements across sponsorships. However, to those I've just mentioned, it's amazing to have the support straight up. It really is a credit to all of you to see the vision, and we thank you and all the members that we're about to talk about the winning entry. I'm sure applaud your leadership in recognising our craft. Print has evolved over the 140-year young association that I stand here representing today. Print has indeed evolved, but it still remains, I think we'll all agree, a craft, and recognising craft and excellence is an acknowledgement not only to all of our industry members, but also the industry at large. So today I am going to introduce Philip Marriott. He's our General Manager of Operations across the Visual Media Association. Strong ops and event management background, former, still Director of Sierra Delta, an agency delivering event management and design marketing solutions. Phil also is well known to a lot of us across the industry. He's worked across this industry association land, VMA, the Real Media Collective, formerly Australasian Catalogue Association, for over 10 years. So we have had the very great privilege of having his skill and support across just over a decade's clip past this year. I congratulate him on that milestone. But also Phil has run for a number of years what used to be called the Catalogies, then became the Real Media Awards, and has a very good oversight into how our industry develops successful awards, and now running the National Print Awards. He's here today to help us understand where we came to on the journey, and also how to craft your winning entry. I'll hand over to you, Phil, and welcome.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you very much, Kelly. It's an absolute privilege to have been involved with all of those organisations over so many years, ACA through to Real Media Collective, and of course now for the Visual Media Association. And it's it's truly a delight to be able to be a part of the National Print Awards, and to be a part of the process of change that's occurring there as well. You know, as we reevaluate and look at the NPAs, as they're commonly known, and look to the future and where the awards goes and how we make it just better and better. You know, I think the theme makes a huge difference this year with the idea of elevation. You know, elevate and celebrate. You know, the VMA, as you well know, a big part of what we do is about elevation. You know, elevating Australian printers and elevating Australian print in the industry. And the National Print Awards is just such a fantastic way for all of our members, or even non-members, to participate in an award program that is truly about, you know, print craftsmanship, and the fantastic work that Australian printers are doing and delivering across the last 2 years. So I thought it might be a good place to start to sort of talk about, I guess, how we got here. You know, we've spent quite a bit of time talking to previous entrants, talking to our members, talking to those that would want to participate in a national awards program. And, you know, an overwhelming feedback over the last little while as we went through that process was, we sort of need to simplify this to a degree, and we need to, you know, the idea of bronze, silver and gold sponsors kind of meant that we didn't really know who was really the true winner. The Pikers, the state-based, and then the national, you know, which spread itself out over a period of time. Again, how do we make this not just simpler, but also, you know, sort of trying to create a level playing field across the awards program? And so there has been a lot of consultation. Some responded, some didn't. But for those that did, thank you. You gave us some real insight into what Australia and our print industry is looking for from its awards program. And that really evolved and changed things to, and sort of forced us to look at everything: entry process, categories, and for those of you that have already gone and had a look, I'm going to just quickly share my screen here and ask, have I got that right? One sec, let me just share that. And just sort of talking about the website here, this is really going to be the best place for everybody to gather information. I know a lot of you have already. We've had a lot of phone calls. I've had a lot of calls. I'm the person to call, I guess, if you're seeking advice on awards, National Print Awards. Once you've looked through, as you can see here on the website, so this is the Visual Media Association website. Go through to awards and international print awards, and there's a wealth of information here for you to download, in particular the call for entry guide. But let's just roll through the page just very quickly. You can pull down some other things like key dates and category summaries, but also how do I enters, how do I sponsor information, and also importantly for members, you get a fantastic deal, $50 an entry for every member, as opposed to 100 for non-members. So pays to be a member. Again, you just get in touch with me through the events at visualmediaassociation.org.au email address, and let me know you're a member and that you're entering, and I will send you a code that gives you that 50% discount. So a great opportunity there for all our members. But again, I just sort of wanted to just quickly run through that. And one of the things that you'll download here is the call for entry guide. And let's just quickly have a think and a look at the call for entry guide. In particular, I guess talking about the theme, elevate and celebrate. We really VMA's mandate is for this year's National Print Awards is really just to celebrate the National Print Awards once again with all of our members and all of our entrants. And that's why this sort of theme this year is all about elevation of the fantastic work that our members and Australian printers are producing and have done over the past 2 years. So I guess this is a new vision for the Print Awards. The National Print Awards. After that consultation process, we have come to a place where we've shifted from the state-by-state feeder system. We've moved to a single National Print Awards. And I had a conversation with a member the other day who was saying, look, we're sort of not sure about that. Perhaps they weren't one of the ones that responded, but we're not sure about that. Why has that occurred? And I think it's important to note that this is about sort of creating a level playing field across everyone, from the one-man bands to the SMEs to the medium to large printers to the big boys. It's all about sort of saying, how do we make sure that we give everybody an equal opportunity to enter? How do we make that simple and easy to do, which is why AwardForce is now our entry portal, and we'll talk about that as well. But also, how do we sort of reshape these awards and create something that becomes a level playing field for everybody? Now, every business, as they go through that process of thinking about entrance, as the screen shows here, and as that call for entry guide, it's a great piece of it's a 12-page doc. Every page is filled with information that can really help you if you are choosing to be an entrant, and you should. A big part of that is awards champions. Anybody that I'm here for, everybody to reach out to me, whether you email me, whether you phone, whether we sit on the phone for an hour and I help you understand different things about the entry process. That's all I'm doing right now, is to make sure that the NPA awards and the entrants get all the information and all the value that they can out of the National Print Awards. But this is a really important part of it, which is awards champions. Find one, get one within your business. It might be the owner, it might not be. It might be somebody else. But it's important to have somebody that can go through and take charge of your entries for your company, and start to do some of this work, which is first point of call is just call me, and I can help them understand and navigate the process, which is very simple. Awards champions are fantastic and a really important part to successful entries. Let's talk about that. How do you get, how do you create great entries? Well, one of the things about this year's season, or this season of awards, is that we've moved to AwardForce, which is a portal. It allows you to, so all the entries are online, all the judging will occur through that very same portal. And we have always, the National Print Awards has always celebrated print craftsmanship, and it will always do that. It's always going to be about beautiful print or fantastic work. And part of that is, one of the small changes this year is that we're asking people to tell us the story. So explain what's going on with that particular entry, because often enough, again, having a discussion with a member the other day, you know, a lot of Australian printers are using fantastic kit from a lot of those sponsors that we mentioned before, and they're all delivering high quality work. However, in some instances, and in many instances, what's going on is businesses or printers are overcoming problems. They're finding solutions to challenges that are placed in front of them, whether that be budget, whether that be a particularly technical issue that they need to overcome. And hand in hand with their OEMs and with their equipment suppliers and with their paper suppliers and with their own staff, they're finding great ways to overcome problems and to deliver solutions. Well, we want to know about that. Why do we want to know about that? Well, this is important to allow us, the VMA, to take National Print Awards and to tell the story from those print awards. Now, that might mean you've got such a fantastic entry and such a fantastic opportunity, and you've put an entry in that we might say to you in a few months' time, ring you up and say, look, we'd love to put that in the VOP mag. You know, the value of paper and print mag is a fantastic way to for us to share Australian content. That might happen. It might be something we do on our website. It could be a tidbit. But what we're also trying to do is, I guess, create this level playing field for everybody. And that means if you tell us the story about some of the, you know, the additional comments section in the Award Force portal allows you to share with us something extra. It might not be anything. It might be something. It might just be how you've overcome a challenge. So great entries kind of created by, you know, getting engaged early, you know, remembering it's a competition, put your best foot forward, you know, gather all of your data, all your specs, etc. But also remember to think about the sort of story that you need to tell. Judging criteria is going to sit still around quality, creativity, innovation, effectiveness. Judging will all occur here at Mulgrave in Victoria. And you then go through and, you know, how do you submit your entries? Well, it's all sitting here in the call for entries guide. Award Force is really intuitive and simple, and you just sort of work your way through it. And there's an entry checklist here that sort of covers off some of the things that you'll need to understand. Choose your categories, you know, make sure you've done all your homework and you've got all your specs, triple check all your details, add in your PDFs, you know, your attachments. So for things like, you know, so this idea of adding in images is also about, you know, there's lots of fantastic work being done around large format work, you know. How do you actually show that off? Well, use photographs. You use a PDF to sort of share that story about, you know, what a fantastic piece. A member recently showed me this fantastic video of a whole bunch of large format signage done around a racetrack in New South Wales. And it was fantastic to see some drone footage of that signage work all along this racetrack. It was a really beautiful piece of footage and a fantastic way to show off their entry. So I always sort of say, remember, it's a competition. You can do whatever you need to do to win it. And if you can attach video or you can attach photography or imagery about your entry, that's your conversation with the judge, as well as your additional comments. That's your conversation with the judge. And in each instance, whatever you think you can do to help present your entry in its very best light, then you should do that. You know, it's an important part of the process. Categories. We have sort of come to a place where, you know, we looked at all of our categories and sort of said, okay, well, let's evolve that as well. This is based on a lot of feedback, again, from members and previous entrants, and categories have adjusted and changed a little bit. We've added some things in to move with the market and what's going on in the marketplace and what Australian printers and our entrants are actually producing. So commercial, there's sort of 7 main categories there. I'm going to talk about some of them, and Kelly's going to talk about some of the major awards in a second, just to sort of share some of her insight there. But with commercial print and digital print, the 2 kind of core components, the 2 core categories, sections. You've got everything from book printing to leaflets to publishing to general print to sign and display So all categories are covered there. And within digital, there's some other extra ones in there that like promotional and merchandise and specialty and miscellaneous. And also we've got space there for mail and data-driven communications as well. So we're really covering the full gamut of Australian printers offerings. So there's plenty of room for everybody to enter. Packaging, labels, huge, part of the last 2 years of our industry have, their own categories there as well this year, which is, fresh for the National Print Industry, National Print Awards. We've also got sales and marketing. So, how do you promote yourself? How do you promote your clients? That could be both of those. And within sales and marketing, there's self-promotional, regional printer. So we really want to, we've put something in there to support all of those fantastic regional printers. I spoke to a great company the other day who are a school photographer company who also do an amazing amount of design work, strategy work, all out of Orange in New South Wales. So, regional printers there for everybody, and small business printer up to 12 employees, so that's a great opportunity for our SMEs to participate in a program and actually, have a red hot crack at an award that suits, businesses that are up to about 12 employees. Creative services and pre-press is also there with design, multi-channel branding and identity. So, for those of our members that participate in supporting their clients' design or multi-channel offerings, whether it's just the print component that they produce, but they also support the mail component, or they are part of a bigger mix of suppliers that ultimately push out a multi-channel campaign for for their clients. There's some opportunity there for them as well, and branding and identity. Judges Awards, Judges' Choice is obviously Judges' Choice. They will look at and select entries that they feel are worthy of a Judges' Choice Award and Excellence in Craft, and that will be hopefully not a huge argument with all the judges, because it can sometimes turn into that. However, it's also about that an absolute scrutiny on entries that judges will undertake to decide amongst themselves who's worthy of those 2 awards. And our judges are really going to be spread across those with fantastic, long-serving, brilliant expertise around print, be that offset or digital. There'll be a mix of that sort of skill set in the room. We want smaller business enterprises in there as well, and we want pre-press and design people in the room as well. So we're curating that judging list at the moment, and they will offer a full spread of all of the skill sets that are required to aptly judge the National Print Awards. And of course, Kelly, you may want to talk about some of the majors now, which are, some of them are new and some of them aren't so new, but they're a fantastic opportunity for our members as well. Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I appreciate the summary. I do. I do have a couple of announcements, which is pretty exciting to make about the majors. Before I do that, I just want to go back to, I think it's really important to reiterate to everybody listening, the awards champions. Every time we've seen the most successful companies across the Real Media Awards or others, it's really important to get that. And Phil's talking about having an awards champion, and they allow you to bring your entry to life. We elevate and our clients' businesses as printers. We elevate their story, and this is your turn to actually celebrate how you did that. So I urge everyone to take that advice, as well as the storytelling, which is really important. Something I was talking also about, and this is part of the journey of the National Print Awards that brings the industry together. Not only is Phil talking about some really interesting stories there that he's sharing as he's ringing all of our members and former entrants and industry stakeholders, I also am having some chats with people about these awards champions, and I've seen a lot of companies actually delegate that to someone new in their business, because that person walks around all the different teams, speaks about, what was the story behind their
Wow,
learning the
great.
business. Great induction.
What a
Also
great
great
thing to do.
empowerment for a junior, a junior to be empowered by, pretty nice responsibility, and they can pick up some skills in doing that. So use these awards to really think about, how can I apply that to some of my skills training in business as well as professional development. You mentioned regional printers. I just love this category. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorites. They get so excited. There's a handful, and sometimes you do, as a regional printer, you're more than just a printer. You're more than just take the order from an agency and clip it.
absolutely.
You're actually part of the community. You're sponsoring community clubs. You're printing for all the local primary schools. It's really lovely, these entries that come in, and I urge every regional printer to continue. I've shout out to CMYK Hub, our friends Dane, Glenn, Paul, and the crew down there for supporting regional printers. It's really important that they wanted to support that category. You asked me about majors. The majors are back, and with the evolution, there's a few changes, but positive ones in a couple of prizes this year for our majors. Emerging talent and women in industry are two new categories that have come into the National Print Awards this year, and the two lucky winners, or lucky or deserving, I should probably say more accurately, will win a trip to London, a trip to the UK. Will attend the Power Print Conference, the Two Sides Global meeting to learn about sustainability of paper and print across the world. Experience centres, there'll be 2 tours across those, as well as tours to a couple of major print groups to just learn and have a look at all the wonderful opportunities that are across the UK and Europe. The trip is to the UK, but it'll be all the European delegates at the conference as well. I will be there, so what a great cohort, what a great trip for us all to learn together, lean in together, and have a real experience that not only provides professional development and an extension of support to our emerging talent winner, but also for women in industry, which we want to keep supporting the empowerment of women across our industry. One of our fastest growing apprentice numbers of women, which is just fantastic to hear. I also was remiss in my opening to not mention our media partner. Print 21 is our media partner this year and last year. Lindy, Wayne, Marnie, and the entire team across Print 21, they are the stalwart in supporting our industry, the original trade media publication. They have worked right back into the Patifa days. Wayne is an institution in our industry, and when we approached Lindy and the team, there was not even a bat. It was an immediate, absolute, no battering of the eyelids, no pause. It was an absolute, how can we support this? They are also be acknowledged for that support as the Print 21 Printer of the Year. This will be a culmination of entries, so a real esteemed award for our major Printer of the Year. That winner will also, under the Print 21 Printer of the Year, receive some amplification of their brand through our VOP-MAG campaign, which goes to 10,000 marketers, retailers and customers around the country, as well as some good shout-outs through the Print 21 Yaffa Media publications. The majors where we have also wellbeing, sustainability under environmental, social governance. There are so many organisations doing so much work in this space, and a lot of the time we don't recognise how green we really are. I once worked for one of the first carbon neutral print businesses in my younger and fresher years, and I remember the then director and I talked about this with some sustainability initiatives we're coming up. We're greenies by nature. We cannot manufacture in this country by having waste. So we all have a story to tell, and sometimes putting it on paper, not only for an entry, but it also will allow you to put it on paper for that next customer pitch that you might be doing. So think about these awards as, yes, a craft and excellence awards. That's absolutely what they are. But as I talked about earlier, awards champions, getting your environmental entry down on paper gets everything you're doing from a sustainability perspective, empowering and entering your emerging talent Don't have to be an apprentice. They could be an apprentice, a
No,
cadet, someone in your finance team, a coordinator, a trainee. Empower them, enter them, support, nominate them, and what an amazing journey for them to win a trip to London and also have some really good industry experience as well. Who doesn't want London? It's my favourite city outside of Melbourne. But these are all opportunities that we really want to bring in. Who are the women in your businesses that have achieved a lot, who have really shown great initiative and inspiration? They might be senior leaders. They may be junior leaders. There is ways, all different ways. The judges will be looking at great initiative and innovation, innovative thinking. And these are all the things that the majors are wanting to applaud. I also am absolutely thrilled to see the return of the Lifetime Achievement Award. We know some of the former recipients of this award. It is not easily attained, and it is always deservedly so. The Visual Media Association Board is looking at nominations currently. And they are the ultimate decision makers across this very, very esteemed award. And I do encourage anyone who's got some names and nominations, please send them in. That isn't an enterable category, but certainly I'm really thrilled as a custodian, as Visual Media Association is, to bring that Lifetime Achievement Award back and have the leaders of our industry recognised for their dedication, going above and beyond, their day jobs, so to speak, and how they've championed for the industry.
absolutely.
So I think Phil, the key call outs is tell your story, get your entries, got to be in it to win it, right? And there's been some changes, but changes well explored by yourself and the team. I thank you for that.
Pleasure.
You're the go-to. I'm hearing you on the phone constantly talking to all the members in industry at the moment, and what a sort of exciting chapter to hear everyone's stories. But
Yeah.
keep the reach out to everyone, reach out to Phil, reach out to the team. The entries go back because we did have a pause, so you've got 2 years to collect. And certainly, as Phil mentioned, we have given a strong discount to members. It's $50 an entry. You could not, it sounds a bit crass to talk money after talking about craft and excellence, but what an amazing opportunity to really put your foot forward and throw in, 10 or 20 or 50, someone told me the other day, which was fantastic to see and hear.
Absolutely.
Get them in, and I look forward to the event in May up in Sydney, Dalton House, I believe.
Whoop, whoop, Darling Island Wharf. It's going to be a night of nights. Anyone that's been to a Real Media Awards knows what that sort of thing's like. Full gala. Everyone gets dressed up to the nines, and we all get out and have a fantastic night. It's the Thursday night of the P.o.P Print show, and we're really looking forward to hosting everybody and celebrating all of these fantastic winners. Just to touch on one of the things you mentioned there, my absolute favourites are always also emerging talent and the people awards. And I've often sat back and when you see somebody get rewarded, so what a fantastic way to, even as a nomination. I was talking to someone the other day about it, sort of saying, if you've got that quieter person or somebody that's a quiet achiever and doesn't really like the accolade or whatever, what a fantastic way to reward them for their hard work, by putting them up. Simply being a finalist, even if you're not a winner, simply being a finalist is just it just feels good, So, we were talking about it, and he was saying, oh, geez, your call for entry says you love a chat, and you certainly do. That's exactly right, and Kelly, you're dead right there. I really do love chatting to our members about awards, and I welcome anyone and everyone to just please get in touch with me if you have any questions whatsoever, because I'd love to help you achieve some success, and if I can do that, that gives me my satisfaction too. So, yeah, really, best of luck to everybody.
Thank you, Phil. We appreciate your passion across this. You really do support them and help them through. A quick thank you again to the National Print Award sponsors, our Platinum HP Curry Group, recognising excellence, Fujifilm, Ball and Doggett, Rico Australia, our gold sponsors, Spices, our silver, and CMYK Hub, proudly supporting the Regional Printers Awards. The P.o.P series, again to our sponsors, Rico Australia. Again, how can I reiterate? I've just mentioned their name a couple of times. What an industry partner and supporter they really are. True. And of course to Media Super, our industry superannuation fund. We are week 1 of our P.o.P series, another 7 to go, filled with lots of tools and tips. For those that have registered, you'll receive a summary tomorrow in your email waves. And of course, at the conclusion of the entire P.o.P series, a printout of your entire class notes, I should say, will be sent to everyone. Register your teams, register yourself so you don't miss out on any content, and use this P.o.P series to really amplify and promote your business. Starts with getting a great entry in and being an excellence in craft printer that we know you all are. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. See you.